My name is Roxane Andersen. I'm a peatland scientist. I work for the Environmental Research Institute, which is part of the University of the Highlands and Islands. And one of my key roles is to coordinate all the research that takes place in the Flow Country, which is Europe's largest blanket bog. I also sit on the National Peatland Group. Climate change matters because it's already happening, because it's intertwined with humans' unsustainable use of finite resources. And I think it's deeply connected to the unfolding global biodiversity crisis. I think it also matters because it will affect us all, but not equally. And I think it will continue to increase social inequalities around the globe. But more importantly, I think it matters because we can still do something about it. I think we're at the point where we have a very narrow window of opportunity to limit the damage, but for that to happen, we need to take action now. Nearly a third of Scotland land's area is made of peat soils, and this is the most extensive areas of these are on blanket bog landscapes. Blanket bog are a globally rare type of peatland, and Scotland currently holds approximately 13% of the world resources. One of Scotland's contribution in my area has been all the science, the dedication and the hard work of a large team that has led to the nomination of the Flow Country as a candidate for UNESCO World Heritage Site. And there is currently no other World Heritage Site around the globe that is nominated essentially because they are a peatland. I think more widely, the peatland and research in Scotland and also in the rest of the UK has been improving our understanding of peatland's response to climate change and how particularly restoration intervention can work. Globally, peatland occupy about 3% of the land surface, but they contain about a third of the global soil carbon. However, the degradation of the peatlands globally through land use has kind of switched this from a net sink to a net source of carbon, and that's been fueling climate change. Scotland has been very quick to understand that restoring peatland is one of the most effective ways of ensuring that the carbon stored in the peat, if we can make it stay there, if it can remain locked up, is a very clear, simple, nature-based solution to address the climate crisis. Scotland is now widely recognised as a world leader in the kind of management of the peatland because it's turned its vision into action, literally, by aligning the policy development, the science and the practice. The reason for that is that we don't really understand all the feedback loops that allow carbons to be either kept in the ground in natural condition or, importantly, accelerate the release of the carbon in the atmosphere and the water under the combined effect of climate change and land use change. I think this is particularly true for extreme events associated with climate change, like heavy precipitations, droughts, and wildfires. And these are really important because they can lead to catastrophic losses of carbon, very rapid losses of huge amounts of carbon. I think we need to be better able to predict which management interventions and conservation strategies are more likely to prevent these catastrophic losses and long-term losses, and also where these interventions may be more successful and cost-effective. I guess to me personally, one of the positive outcomes that could come out of COP26 would be the recognition that perhaps it's time now that we think about these carbon-rich ecosystem, the peatlands, but also the mangroves, the seagrass meadows, the old-growth forests, and the tropical peat swamps. I think we need to consider them as some of our most significant, but sometimes overlooked World Heritage Site. I think that those sites, we have a collective duty to safeguard them for the well-being of the planet and of future generations. So importantly, I think that I would like to see the world leaders and the countries turning their ambition into action and taking responsibility for this moment in time where I think we can still do something about climate change.